Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Mosai, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shah, not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshua, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the ark pushing the truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the whole elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning, that few sisters who are listening and learning. On my Zai from GMS Orlando Camp coming into another lesson of truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord willing. This be edifying. So I titled this lesson, Eve is being used to deceive. Now, if there was ever a time for black women, the time is now. Or Israelite women, the time is now. And they are using these Evites to deceive, man. And that's what the Lord said, that he was going to create a new thing in the earth when a woman should come past a man. This is showing us how far, how on the bottom, how base we are. Because look what's going on with our women, man. So, I got a few clips I'm going to play. Lord willing, be edifying. Is there ever, if there was ever a time for the so-called black woman, the time is now, man. So let me pull this. Matter of fact, let me turn this volume down. Three. This devil showed Eve another way, man. A so-called another way, which like I can tell you in door. So this devil done showed Eve allegedly another way. And what's that way? All they gotta do is follow follow them, man. That's what you say. Children are our oppressors and women rule over us. And children being Esau, Edom, right? Them who control the world. And they say now women rule over us. So first, let me play this. So you see it. Let me play that first. So I got a few clips here. As a matter of fact, let me make sure they all synced up. Bear with me for a second. Make sure they all synced up so it won't be no infomercials. Bear with me for a second. I should have did this before. Yeah, man. This devil is deceiving. It's going to deceive more women with this madness, man. That's what they doing. Salaki. Salaki. Just making sure they all lined up, synced up together. That way won't be no infomercials in them. So these devils is slick, man. That's why I tell you today, they are the most subtle beasts of the field, man. They said the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, man. Salaki, I don't know why. I thought I had did this, but some just told me to redo it. So they all be linked up. So Salaki, I want to make sure they all linked up, man. Because I want to show you these. These are today's, what we would call top so-called black women in Babylon the Great, right? You had Oprah Winfrey and you had what's this chick name? Whoopi Goldberg and them, right? The Beyoncé's, them that's on a higher level. Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, Beyoncé's, and right. You got and it kicked off. It kicked off with Michelle Obama, man. So, all right. So let's play these. It kicked off with Michelle Obama, man. Uh, Jake touching down in the White House. So let's start right here with this. So check this out. This is the chick, the Fortune 500 CEO of
You were no question a first. You joined Morgan Stanley back in.
How the hell this popped up on this? Salakia. This is man, I don't know what's going on, man. See, he started playing with me now. Now I gotta re-pull it. For some reason they moved it. Hold on, bear with me. Salakia, Salakia. I want to show this first. Let's see, these is the supposedly, allegedly, these is the faces of Babylon the Great, man. When it comes to so-called black women in leadership, man. All right. All right, so I got it back. Salakia, man. These devils, man. All right, so here we go. This is the chick from the Xerox, right?
There are a couple of things in your life that you will never change. And one of the things that I would never give up was my hair. In the early part of my career, I was definitely one of very, very few women, and I was the only black woman. If you work in a business environment, the thing that makes the place rock and roll is actually getting all those differences to the benefit of everybody else. I grew up in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. There was a fairly consistent lifestyle that we all lived. We were poor, from a tenement ghetto to a little apartment in the projects to a bigger apartment in the projects. It was all signs of progress for us. It was actually fun. My mother struggled a lot to make.
Now I don't know if y'all remember, but this the chick that said the brother Yash from Mississippi was doing a lesson on this GMS Mississippi about how she got what she got at because she didn't go to all her kids' functions or something like that.
Make it okay for us.
And her husband was like I guess he was like a house husband or whatever, right? He was a stay-at-home dad.
I ended up becoming an engineer by accident. I knew that I liked math and I kind of thought I was okay at it, but I took this PSAT and the guidance counselor came to me and said, "My God, you did a phenomenal job." I went to an engineering school and it was very normal to be the only. I say this to women all the time, particularly women trying to get into STEM. I guarantee you, you will be the minority in the room. And instead of that being a burden, it should be an opportunity for you to distinguish yourself. All of us now are pioneers, every one of us. A lot of what pioneers do, they do not benefit from themselves. I started here, and by any view and vision, I ended up at the top of some mountain. I have more money, more than my mother would have ever imagined. And I still don't judge my success by that.
The original title I have for this is The Height of Black Women. Let me get that definition real quick. The height of black women, which is the fall of Babylon the Great, man. Because overall, it's Yahweh Shema Shah that's doing this. This is the word height. It said a measurement from base to top, or of a standing person from head to foot. It say the most intense part of period, the most intense part or period of something, the height. It say similar words, high point, peak. It say pinnacle, high watermark, climax, right? So I just wanted to, because that was going to be the original title, The Height of Black Women. Which is what they doing is they using these women to destroy these young women that's coming up now, man.
Not everybody's going to end up to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but if I would have stopped my progression 4 jobs ago, I would still have a great life. The story would be great. And that's why you don't give up.
You see, they use this so-called, they use this Hamite. See, she was standing behind Obama. They use that to be like, that's like, oh, it's a Jakin office, so y'all should be happy. No, that was a Hamite. Let me get this next clip. These devils will never put an Israelite in the White House, man.
Former Xerox chief executive Ursula Burns made history in 2009 as the first African-American woman CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She spent 36 years at Xerox, working her way from engineer all the way to the top. During the Obama administration, Burns also led the White House STEM program for 7 years, making her a champion of science and technology, along with engineering and math. That's what STEM stands for. Today, Burns serves on the boards of Uber, ExxonMobil, Nestle, the Mayo Clinic, and MIT, among others. Her new memoir, Where You Are Is Not Who You Are, details her path to success. And I'm happy to say Ursula Burns joins us now.
You see her doing all that with Exxon and Nestle and all that. That may look good to these young girls that's growing up, man. That don't know history of what they supposed to be doing, man. When you read in Psalms 129 and Psalm 68, what is that? Psalm 68 and 12, I think it is. When it say, when kings did flee apace and women stayed at home to divide the spoils. They don't know nothing about this history, man, because Esau never taught this history.
Now, Ursula, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony. Nice to be here.
I really appreciate you being here. It's a very sharply observed and blunt book. The title, Where You Are Is Not Who You Are, is fantastic. It's a lesson from your mother, a single mom. It's good because it works where you are now, but also where you started. How did it help you in your career?
I had to always remember during my rise to the top, per se, that those circumstances of, as I progressed, were only a portion of, who I was myself. I had to actually always remember that people around me, even if they didn't have as much as I had.
Let me read these 2 precepts real quick. There's plenty of them in Titus, in Timothy. Let's read. I want to read these 2. This is Psalms 113 and verse 9. He maketh the barren woman to keep house and to be a joyful mother of children. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. This is not being taught, man. Why? Because this devil job is to deceive our women, man. This is Psalm 68 and 12. Kings of armies did flee apace, And she that tarried at home divided the spoil.
Or had more, were worthy of attention and being listened to, etc. It was my mother's way of saying that don't get too big for your britches, right? Stay in, make sure that you understand that humans are humans and that they require or deserve respect and being cared for.
Yeah, your mother had a lot of instructions that helped you along the way. And you also point out that Xerox, the company you worked at for so long, was a pioneer in diversity. But I'm curious, what do you think holds back all the other potential Ursula Burnses out there from getting the opportunities that you got along the way?
And you see, and it's a lot of Ursula Burns out there. It's a lot of Kismakia Corvettes. This chick here who want to play next, Roz Brewer. It's a lot of these women out there, man. And this is promoting that. To what? To their own destruction.
I think that there are two words. One, the words that you use, hold back, is one, right? They just start, we start in a different place. We start generally with poor educational institutions, poor healthcare, less food or bad food. All of the starting points that launch you into life are scarce if you live in poverty. Safety, comfort, those types of things. That's one set. The other is that there are people who have power today who prefer to keep it. And the institutions and the structures and the processes that we use to govern, to make decisions, to choose, are all based on a historic look and feel. That's generally the white male look and feel. Don't get me wrong, I like white males. It's just that right now the world, it has always been, but now it's pretty obvious that the world has been tilted in their favor for a very long time, and we have to actually adjust it a bit to make it a more quote-unquote level playing field, at least from the start.
Ursula, last time you were on CBS.
You know they told her to say that. Because they'll pull your check. They'll pull your whole career. You know they told her to say that. Which they said she the former CEO or whatever. Man, you know that was scripted.
This morning, you had just co-signed a letter with other executives against restrictive voting laws in Georgia. Since then, more states have moved to restrict voting access. Are you concerned that corporations aren't having enough influence?
I am concerned that they're not saying enough and therefore not having enough influence. The voting restrictions, in my opinion, this is definitely personal, they're shameful. I mean, one of the things that I think about when I think about America, everybody thinks about.
Don't want to show her. Now let me come back, get this other one. I want you to check this out. Cause these women is being used, man. They're being used to destroy our women, man. So check this out. This is Roz Brewer. Check her out.
Sometimes we use our voices by saying, we belong here. Get used to us.
As a leader in her first company, sales grew to more than $1 billion.
It was forward thinking.
When Roz Brewer took the reins at her next, Sam's Club, she modernized the business and boosted profits. Then she stepped in as COO of Starbucks and overhauled the way they treat their customers. But all that
Brewer will be headed to Walgreens and will become its CEO.
was just a warm-up.
You're joining Walgreens in the middle of a pandemic. That's a lot of pressure.
This wasn't like an easy entry.
Not at all. But this came to me and I said, this is a time for me to step into something that I've always wanted to do. And that's to have impact, make change happen, lead something that would leave an impression on people's lives. And as I've seen people, get their first shot and they look back at our pharmacists and they are crying and in tears, I know I've made the right decision.
At 59, Roz Brewer is a wife, mother of two, and now the CEO of the largest company ever run by a Black woman.
Have you ever been told that you actually have advanced because of your race?
I have had several similar comments to that, as if I'm a token. I have had that. I've had the comments that, you're not as smart as you think you are. I've had a lot of those, Hoda. I refer often to a situation where I was at a meeting just for CEOs. And I had one gentleman ask me constantly, what did I do for a living? Almost like, why are you here, right? He must have asked me 20 questions like marketing, like sales, like, was like, no. It was so funny because I happened to be the keynote speaker for the private luncheon. I assumed my position on the stage, and I just saw his face just totally drain. I feel as if I'm going to teach a couple of lessons, through this, and I'm going to be my best.
Right.
That drive was instilled at an early age. Brewer grew up in Detroit, the youngest of 5 kids. Her parents worked the assembly line at General Motors.
Your parents didn't go to college, but they wanted to make sure that all their kids did. How did they make that clear to you that that was the plan?
Absolutely. It was from day one. It was not, there was no other option. My dad worked 3 jobs, but for every event that I had in my life, he was always there. And I remember one event where
he could have been
I
an
thought I
Edomite.
was
I don't
going to
know.
get, the gold ribbon. And I ended up getting an honorable mention. And I remember feeling guilty because I was like, he left work early, one of the 3 jobs, and all I got was an honorable mention. And it broke my heart, but he was so proud.
Things that happened in these buildings. Brewer
Esau ain't working no
studied
3
chemistry
jobs.
here at the prestigious Spelman College, forging a lifelong connection to the institution and a mission to pay it forward.
So it's your mom, your dad, and Spelman.
Absolutely. My mom, my dad, and Spelman College.
Brewer's father, who beamed even at the honorable mentions, wouldn't live to see his daughter earn that diploma. He died 6 weeks before graduation.
How often do you think about what he would be thinking of you? Like in this moment, maybe?
Oh my God. I clearly know he would be quite excited. He would be. I think about that a lot.
In the face of daunting odds, Spelman women persevere.
The first Black woman is a phrase that most often precedes her name. But for Brewer, that just means she has more work to do.
Well, what did they do? What did they do?
In 2018, a Starbucks manager called the police after 2 Black males sat without ordering. Brewer, the company's COO, sprang into action.
You dove into that one headfirst because to you, it was personal.
It was very personal. I saw these 2 young men, and what really struck me was they were the same exact age as my son, John. This could have happened to him.
Wow. What'd your son say?
Well, he texted me right away because, this hit Black social media before it hit anywhere else. And he texted me, he said, Mom, you have to get after this right away.
We had a very constructive meeting.
Starbucks did something you don't hear very often. They said they were sorry, and within a month, closed 8,000 stores for racial bias training. What might have been a public relations disaster became Brewer's triumph.
It does seem like you were put in these positions and situations. And do you believe that there's some divinity here?
I do think it is because I'm not on that mission. I'm somebody's mom. I'm some.
All right, so I just want to show that, right, these 2 Fortune 500 CEOs. Now, when this chick, Kiz McKeel, Corbett, when this guy, Anthony Fauci, said that she was one of the helpers that was making the this jump shot, right? This taco sauce, this yabawaki. So they had a clip up on YouTube saying that she might be Eunice Rivers. Now, if you don't know who Eunice Rivers is, she was the chick that pushed Jake to take part in the Tuskegee experiments. Her name was Eunice Rivers. So the chick, I'm gonna play this first. So the chick, Kiz McKeel Corbett, who Anthony Fauci said helped make the jump shot, right? I'm gonna play in a minute. So check this out. So this one took flight. The chick Ursula Barnes, that was over the Xerox. Remember, she was standing behind Obama in 2009 when he was signing whatever. So, when Michelle Obama was in there, everybody was all excited about Jake, right? but she could be a dude. Who knows?
Oh! Thank you all. Thank you so much. You know, it's hard to believe that it has been 8 years since I first came to this convention to talk with you about why I thought my husband should be president. Remember,
That's enough of that. So these all this is that push, man. Let me get this. It's that push, man. I'm gonna get some precepts, man, because this devil started this in the garden, man. So check this out.
Everyone.
Now this is
There,
your girl.
it has been a lot. There have been.
This your girl Kismakia Corbeck. Check her out.
It has been a lot. There have been so many sleepless nights.
You see that? So many sleepless nights. They going hard for Esau, man.
And what was the burden of the world's health and coming out of a global pandemic rested on our shoulders for quite some time, and still to some degree.
Look, make her feel important. Rested on our shoulders. You see how Esau deceived these demons? The height of the world rested on our shoulders.
I am a virologist because I studied virology at UNC, at one of the world's most renowned viral immunology enterprises. That level of training is what prepared me for this moment. When people ask me who I am, I always say North Carolinian, almost first. Being from North Carolina formed exactly who I am and how I think about science. I am from Hillsborough, North Carolina, which is about 10 miles from UNC's campus. I went to Orange High School. I actually started my first lab internship at Keenan Lab at UNC. I like to think of that moment when I was 16 years old as the time that I became a scientist. Even though I was young, I felt like, wow, I could really do this forever. The reason why I actually went to UNC to get my PhD is because it really felt like home immediately. It felt like family immediately. You could tell that there was this collegial atmosphere. I think that there are a couple of moments where I can look back and I can say, wow, I can't believe I did that. Getting my PhD actually was one of those moments because from where I'm from, as a first generation 4-year graduate of college, I don't think that was in anybody's dreams.
You see? PhD, bachelor's and associate and masters, right? What's that? That's what Esau taught these demons in the garden, man. I had another clip I want to play. I'm gonna go back and pull it. It went down for whatever reason. But let me get this one. And I'll pull that while I'm playing this. Let's see. These are your women, man. And they got this school Spelman for women, right? And this chick, Oprah Winfrey, done created a school for women, right? They using this to destroy the women, man. So let's get this. Cause this is what I'm finna show you now. This is a 2-in-1. This 2 birds with 1 stone. Look at this. Here we go. Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown. 2 with 1 stone.
President George Washington once referred to America as a great experiment, a nation founded on the previously untested belief that the people we, the people, could form a more perfect union. And that belief has pushed our nation forward for generations. And it is that belief that we reaffirmed yesterday. Through the confirmation of the first Black woman to the United States Supreme Court. And Judge Jackson, you will inspire generations of leaders. They will watch your confirmation hearings and read your decisions. In the years to come, the court will answer fundamental questions about who we are and what kind of country we live in. Will we expand opportunity or restrict it? Will we strengthen the foundations of our great democracy or let them crumble? Will we move forward or backward? The young leaders of our nation will learn from the experience, the judgment, the wisdom that you, Judge Jackson, will apply in every case that comes before you. And they will see for the first time 4 women sitting on that court at one time.
You see? Deception, man. To destroy, to further destroy our women. So I got this last clip, and we're gonna get a few precepts. And the serpent taught Eve this in the garden, man. This ain't nothing new. I got my PhD.
I grew up in a family of 7. Hillsborough is certainly a part still of each of our lives in so many ways. I mean, our grandparents lived there, my parents lived there. Hillsborough certainly sits as a backdrop to the way that I think about my science. And when I was 16 years old, I did an internship at the University of North Carolina, and I just fell in love with the scientific process. I felt like I was a scientist after that summer, and I just could not stop trying to be a scientist.
So yeah, just want to show that. Now they had a clip up like as if she was Eunice Rivers, but we know, generation, the return of generation, reincarnation is 3 and 4 generations. So hey, but that's a crazy spirit. It could be, but So this is start here in Genesis 3 because these things are being pushed to further destroy our women, man. This is Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for God doeth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Now, this devil saying right here, telling Eve that she shall be as God, right? Knowing what? The philosophies of the world. He said the same thing about himself. Real quick, this is Isaiah 14, right? This is what the devil say about himself. It say, Isaiah 14 and 13, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into the heavens, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So this devil saying this by himself, right? And he told Eve that in the garden, man, right? So back in Genesis, this devil said it. Hey, he deceived Eve with that, man. How can you be a God on this side by having these different bachelors and masters and associates, right? And your PhDs, and you just a scientologist, whatever, geologist, archaeologist, you just so super deep in the world and the Big Bang Theory and cosmic rain hit the cosmic rock and evolution and all this madness, man, which is pseudoscience, man. That's how you can be as God, right? Playing, knowing the element. Listen, man, these devils lied to you, man. It say, for God do know in that day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, what? For learning. Oh, this can make me, that's these women. This will put me on a whole nother level. It say, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So that's why I say in Ecclesiasticus 25 and 24. Matter of fact, let's get this first because it says she sinned first. This is 1 Timothy 2 and 11, and it reads, let no woman, it say, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not the woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Ecclesiastes 25 and 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. That's why the scriptures say, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Well, who gave our women liberty to gad abroad? Esau Edom. Women's live, right? This is Ecclesiastes 26. That's why the Lord said this. If thy daughter be shameless, right? Young, she's still fresh, virgin, whatever, however you want to term it. If she don't know wickedness, like when you got it, that's why kids that's 12 and younger, man, right? They don't know wickedness, man. They probably got iPhones and they watching this stuff on YouTube. They don't understand what wickedness, what sin is, right? They haven't seen yet. If you still got them in the house and you still raising, they still going to school. Now you don't know what they be doing when they little badasses be when they leave the house, but for the most part, they don't understand what sin is, right? It say, if thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straightly, least she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. And they got that from Esau, man. This is so in Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12, the Lord said this was going to happen. Matter of fact, let's get this first. This is Jeremiah 31 and 22. The Lord said this was going to happen. Why? Because we, the Israelite men, the hopeful elect men, is the women to the Lord, man. And we did the Lord like this. So when your woman go off and do something wicked, listen, marvel not, man, right? Because we did it to the Lord, man. It's Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? Which is talking about the men of Israel, right? We was backsliding. We played the harlot with all these other gods. It say, for the Lord Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. And this is not nothing for something good, man. This is bad. It's terrible, man. When you see this happening, you know we fail, man. We on the bottom. So Isaiah 3 and 12, it say, matter of fact, let me get this. It say, Isaiah 3 and 1, for behold, the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, do take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient. This is dealing with the men, the captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the cunning artificer and the eloquent orator. And that's when you read in Daniel's 1, right? I want to make this point. In Daniel's 1, that's what this guy Nebuchadnezzar told Ashpenaz. He say, this is Daniel 1 and 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and of princes. It's a children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom and cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. So right here in Isaiah 3, these are the men that the Lord brought low, the heads, right? The heads of Israel, man. It say Isaiah 3 and 2, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable man, and the counselor and the cunning artificer, and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. You see? And the children, it's and the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. So now we got the base men teaching our women how to be over us, man. What the Lord said he was going to do that. It show you how low we don't fail, man. Because now we the base. So in verse 12, Isaiah 3 and 12, it say, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee call thee to error and destroy the way of thy path. Who's leading our women right now? Women, not men. This is Psalms 10 and 10. Because this devil doing this. It say, he croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Who are the strong one that these devils set up? Your leaders, your so-called leaders, idols, right? This nigga, this Jesse Jackass and L Sharp Tongue, right? TD Snakes, Deflo Dollar, LeBron James is in them, man. Your your Will Smiths and Chris Rocks and Denzel Washingtons, man. He croucheth and humble himself, who Esau Edom, that the poor may fall by his strong ones, the ones that he set up, man. This is First Ezra. Listen to this, man. The Lord, hey, we done, man. Listen to this. This First Ezra 4 and 28. It say, matter of fact, let's read 26, so you know where I'm coming from. First Ezra 4 and 26. It say, yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. So now you got women rulings, judges, mayors, polices, right? COs. It say many also have perished and erred and sinned for women. This is verse 28. And now, do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Not her, him. It say yet. It say yet. Let's read this again. And now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him and obtain the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Abadicus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and sitting upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand. And yet, that's off, man. It say, and yet, For all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. That's what the Lord say. Don't desire a woman for her beauty, man. It's saying, yet she done took the crown off his head and struck him with the left hand. It say, and yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. What happened when that woman laughed at King David? She left from bearing children, man. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter some simp nigga, man, that she might be reconciled to him again, man. You see, the Lord done turned things upside down, man. So when you see this going on with these women, that's off, man. This is Proverbs 31:1. She done took the crown of king head and struck him with her left hand. What is that, man? Proverbs 31:1. The word of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. I just read one in First Ezra 4, man. She took the crown off the king's head and struck him with the. It says she took the crown with the right hand and struck him with the left hand, man. These simple jakes. This Proverbs 14:1. Oh, when you read about this guy, what's his king named Xerxes, man, in the book of Esther, what happened? He put that woman away, man. This Proverbs 14:1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Why? Because she want to be head of the house, man. You can't tell her nothing. She want to be head of the house, man. So yeah, they got this. Esau taught these women this philosophies in the garden, man. So what they doing? They want to be head of the house. They don't need no man. Well, guess what? It's gonna come a time. It's gonna change, man. This is Isaiah 32:9. It reads, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come." And this is already happening right now, man. The vintage failing and the gathering not coming. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Then that's going back to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16 through 26. Then it says, "They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vines." That's the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come. So your Section 8 hood, habitat housing, social security, disability, right? Your SNAP, all that is gonna be gone, man. It say, "Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city." Right, the water up. I've been bringing this out. I ain't brought out in a minute now though. This is the young brother from my account. Subscribe to the brother channel. GMS Raw Abun. This is First Ezra 4:37. GMS Raw Abun. That's the young brother in my account. Subscribe to the brother channel. Edifying lessons. Wine is wicked. The king is wicked, which we know today's king is Esau, Edom, and these other heathens. It say women are wicked. All the children of men are wicked. And you have three classifications of men. You got the sons of God, the Israelites, Yasha Allah, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of men. It say wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked. And this is that same chapter, First Ezra 4. It say all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them in their unrighteousness. There is no truth in them in their unrighteousness. Also, it say, also they shall perish. Verse 430, verse 38. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. And that's why we here to deliver this, man. Let you know this is off, man. This is off. So, as it say, many days and years shall you be troubled. It's happening now, man. It's happening now. Let me get a couple more of your brother precepts. That's all I had. I just want to make that point. Oh, let me get this. This is Jeremiah 9. That's what the Lord said. I bring this out a lot, man. That's what the Lord say. Call for these type of women. This is Jeremiah 9 and 17. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. Consider ye and call for the mourning women. Why is these women mourning? These hopeful-elect women? Because they know, as long as the men on the bottom, we in trouble, man. These are 2/3 women like that. It say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, consider ye and call for the mourning women, that they may come, and send for cunning women, that they may come. The word cunning meaning the wise ones, the ones that know, the ones that's in the know of what's really going on, man. They know, these hopeful women, they know, man. It say, and let them make haste. It say, why call for mourning women? Because they know they on the bottom too, man. It's only some 2/3 demon bug out women think they on top, think they done made it. They in their kingdom, man. It's saying, let them make haste and take up a dwelling for us. Who? Us who? The men of Israel, because we on the bottom. And until we get back on top, things will never be the same, man. That our eyes may run down with tears and our eyelids gush out with water. Because we the men ain't finna be doing no crime. The women do that. Just like a man is supposed to have long hair, but your woman do. So you glorify your tears, your mourning. We mourning together, but the Lord is raising us back up. But the women still mourning because we still on the bottom, man. As we on the bottom too, man. But ain't no time to be crying, man. It say, and let them make haste and take up a wailing for us, that our eyes may run down with tears, and our eyelids gush out with water. For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. Yet, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and everyone her neighbor lamentation. Why is these women doing this? Because they know their help is in the men, and their men is sitting on the bottom, man. But guess what? Let's get this. Isaiah 3. I want to read the point. It's Isaiah 3 and 25. This is what's going to happen to these proud women like that, man. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. What does it say that else at? In Micah 7. You're going to sit upon the ground, and you're going to be trodden down as the mire of the streets, man. That's what it's talking about. Isaiah 3 and 26. This is Micah 7:10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it. Because these women is going against the grain, man. They going against what's being taught in the Bible, man. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which say unto me, where is the Lord, thy power? My eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's why I said in Isaiah 3 and 26, and her gate shall lament and mourn, and she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground. Why? Why shall she sit upon the ground? 1 Timothy 5 and 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And these things given charge that they may be blameless. You see? They say, but it say, but if any, but it say, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. So these men supposed to be teaching these women to get in order, right? Because if they don't, they're gonna be destroyed. It's supposed to have a head over you, man. It's supposed to be a man telling you how you supposed to come and go, man. It say, we're reported for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, If she have washed the saints' feet, which going into lodging strangers and washing saints' feet is making garments for brothers. It say, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work, right? It say, but the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax one time against Hamashiach, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith. You see, it say verse 14. Oh, verse 13, it say, and withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies. You always spreading business, talking about this, talking about that, when you shouldn't be doing that. That's why the devil created Instagram and Facebook, man. How you doing this back and forth, being busybodies, man. It say, but tattlers also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I would therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give no occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some already turned aside after Satan. And that's why I tell you in 2 Timothy, let's read this. 2 Timothy 3 and 6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth, man. Because Esau them filled their minds with their wickedness, man. And the reason this is happening, beautiful brother, I was finna get that. This brother Fisher Terry Hunter, subscribe to the brother channel, edifying lessons. Isaiah 54 and 5, it reads, as a matter of fact, yeah, let's start here. It say, for thy maker is thy husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the power of the whole earth shall he be called. This is why women is over us, man, because we went against the Lord. It say verse 6, for the Lord Yahweh have called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth when thou was refused, saith thy power. You see, the Lord did this to us, man, because we went against him. It said we played the harlot, man. Okay? We played the harlot, and 2/3 of Jake is still playing the harlot, man. Man. And this where we at today, man. This where we at, man. Women in power. And the world think that's a good thing, man. Because they Fortune 500 companies. Man, that's not good, man. That show you how far we done failed, man. But the Lord set this up to be this way, man. So 2/3 of our women that's still trying to come up in these Spelman schools, school for women, all these schools that, hey, they're gonna die grievous deaths. At least the Lord put the spirit on them, man. Otherwise, what it say? Let me close with this. It's Isaiah chapter 9. They worthless, man. Oh, Proverbs 21 and 16. He that wandereth, or she that wandereth out the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, man. This is Isaiah chapter 9. Because all these ones that open create this school for women and these schools for women, and all they're doing is pushing them to grow up, to take over. That's what they're trying to do. Take over all, and then you got these women. This one chick in the NBA, she cut her breasts off, man. Because she trying to be the dude. I forgot her name. That playing in WNBA. It's Isaiah 9 in verse 19. Through the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh Shema shall host, is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. So these people is just gonna be fuel for the fire, man. Esau is bringing is training these women up. These women, Kismakia Quebec and Kamala Harris and Kataji Brown and what's his later name, Ross Brewer and Ursula Burns. Man, they finna destroy these women, man. They don't got no leaders, man. Oh, let's get this. Matter of fact, I'm already here. Isaiah 9. I'll think about another precept. Let's read this. Isaiah 9 and 16. For the leaders of this people called them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed, man. So these leaders, your so-called leaders, I read Psalm 10 and 10, he crouched and humbled himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. They send these people up to destroy us, man. They see, man, these like the apostles say this all the time, man. These elites, these everybody watching this truth, man. And they are trembling, man. As it tell you in Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, the keepers of the house shall tremble, man. Let me close with this. This is Proverbs 29. I got a couple more lessons I want to do today, Lord willing. Proverbs 29 and 18, where there is no vision, the people perish. And how do you get the vision? How do you get the vision? You have to get it from a man of the Lord, man. You can't get the vision, not this vision, from anybody, man. It got to be from a man of Yahweh Shema Shah, man. And that's what the Lord said in Jeremiah 3 and 15. Fuel for the these people is fuel for the fire, man. That's it. Walking zombies, man. Them that wander out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, man. Jeremiah 3 and 15. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. There is no other way. Matter of fact, as I said that, this is John chapter 10 and verse 1. Verily, verily, truly, truly, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entered in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Lord was edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready concept of the night. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing this truth and believing this truth with the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning. There are a few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord was edifying. Till next time, I say Shalom. Walk above, the wife tuning in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. And subscribe to these brothers' channel. These brothers GMS South Georgia, man. Subscribe to the brother channels. Edifying lessons, man. Hey, so for the water for tuning in, the water for your precepts. Till next time, Shalom, Wa, Abba, Abba.